As we continue to watch what's happening over in the Middle East, the Israel-Iran conflict, would the Chinese markets, would the Hong Kong markets be a relative safe haven in today's day?
Yeah, well, I think so, because, well, for the onshore market, right, so it has a closed capital account, right, so it's difficult for capital to get in and out, right, so I think for other parts of the emerging market, for example, Southeast Asian market and also the Indian market, they could get here, because those guys are heavily depending on energy-intensive industry as well. But I think, for the onshore Asia market and also to a very large extent the Hong Kong market, we're benefiting from a huge inflow of capital. I think, either from mainland China, also from capital being rotated out of the U.S. So I think, as you can see, Hong Kong is sort of resilient today. I think even the Chinese market, because the economic number is as expected, so the onshore market is not moving that much either.
So the money is coming into the Hong Kong market. Where is it going?
Well, so far, all we have to do is look at year-to-date performance, right? So which sector is outperforming? So firstly, we're seeing a recovery in the IPO market, right? So this year, the money being raised in Hong Kong is number one in the world. It's close to 80 billion US dollars. And I think, the biotech industry recently is going bananas. It's having a deep-seek moment of its own, right? So, some of the innovative biotech companies being bought out. And also, some of the tech companies and also the new consumption concept companies are doing really, really well. For example, there's a gold shop called Labubu Gold, which is positioned itself as a Chinese Hermes in the gold industry. So it's just doing exceedingly well. Mixue, which is a milk tea retailer in China, Chinese answer to Starbucks, is doing really, really well, et cetera, et cetera. Right? So many of these new consumption concepts this year is being recognized by many of the investors here. And also Pop Mart,
Labubu.
It's all over the place right now. Yeah.
Would you be buying into the IPOs that come to the Hong Kong market? There's going to be a soy sauce maker that debuts on Friday. Does this fit in with the consumption space, with what we've seen across the bubble tea makers, for example?
Yeah, well, I think IPO, investing in IPO this year has done really well. I think most of the IPOs this year are decent, quality names from mainland China, and they attract huge capital. And for example, I think Mixue, when it IPO, it locked in like 1.35 trillion Hong Kong dollars just for that IPO. It's just phenomenal. And I think, IPO should continue to do well this year. I think, the soy sauce, I don't know. Yeah, it's not a very sexy sort of a business, but given that it's a very quality name in the Asian market, I think valuation for this company has been very high in the Asian market, and it should have a sort of a measurable PE when it comes listed in Hong Kong as well.
The market has been waiting for Shein. So originally the U.S., then London. Now it's looking like it's probably going to land here.
That's right.
How do you think Shein's reception will be? I mean, the whole point of getting an IPO was so that it would have a global feel to the company. Coming to Hong Kong, would that ruin the strategy?
No, I think Hong Kong is global, right? So Hong Kong is a global city. I think once again, the IPO this year, the money raised in Hong Kong is number one in the world, right? So Hong Kong is a global financial center. And also, I think I've seen many Chinese companies go listed in the UK or in some parts of Europe, because of the liquidity problem. Once they get listed, trading volume just die down, right? So there's just no point, being there. I think in this part of the world, people are probably have a better understanding of the business model, right? So Shein has been doing exceedingly well, selling really, really well in the US as well. So I think the brand name is being recognized by people. I think most people I talk to has been really waiting, anticipating this IPO to come.